All right, in this video we're going to do linear inequality word problems. So the first problem is, suppose you buy flour and cornmeal in bulk to make flour and corn tortillas. Flour costs $1.50 per pound and cornmeal costs $2.50 per pound. You want to spend less than $25 on flour and cornmeal, but you need at least 6 pounds altogether. Okay, so we're going to write our inequality statements, and we're going to have two of them. So I'm going to put my money pieces with my money answer. Okay, so it said flour was $1.50 per pound, so 1.5, $1.50 F, and you could call that X, and you could call C Y, which I'll do later on to make it a little easier for graphing. And then cornmeal is $2.50 per pound, so 2.5 C. And they said you wanted to spend less than $25. So since I'm dealing with money in the first two parts, my answer is going to be in money. So less than 25 would be a less than sign and 25. Then it says you want to spend at least 6 pounds, or you want at least 6 pounds altogether. So for flour and cornmeal, you're buying it by the pound. So flour plus cornmeal has to be greater than or equal to 6 because you want at least 6. You can get more, but you want 6 or more. Okay? So I'm going to label my graph, and I'm going to have cornmeal on my y-axis and flour on my x-axis because I did flour where I would normally put x, and I did cornmeal where I would normally put y in my inequality statements. Alright, I'm going to change my equation so that they're in slope-intercept form. So I subtracted 1.5, and then I divided by 2.5. Okay, and that gave me negative 3/5, and then 10. Alright, so I'm going to go up to 10, I'm going to go down 3/5, and draw a line. And it would be actually a dashed line. And then the next one, I'm going to solve, and I'm going to get, so I subtracted F, and I'm calling it X. Alright, so I'm going to go up to 6, then I'm going to down 1/1. And that one should be a solid line. So I should have had the dashed line for the first one and a solid line for the next. And then where I would shade, if I picked a test point, where I would shade is in between the two lines. Now for these type of word problems, it's usually going to be right in between your two lines where you're shading. Alright, but still pick a test point. Go ahead and try it that way. Then it says write two possible solutions. So to be a solution, it has to be in the section where they overlap. So I'm going to go to a spot where they're overlapping, which is where I put that red dot, and that would be 6 pounds of flour and 2 pounds of cornmeal. And then I did another dot, which would be 8 pounds of flour and 4 pounds of cornmeal. You could have picked a number of different solutions there. Okay, I just picked two random points that were inside of that blue section that I shaded. Alright, number 2. A seafood restaurant owner orders perch and salmon. Perch is $4 a pound and salmon is $3 a pound. He wants to buy at least 50 pounds of fish, but he cannot spend more than $240. So again, we're dealing with money, so we have 4 for the P, 3 for the S, or X and Y. And we want to spend no more. We can't spend more than $240. So we can spend $240 or we can spend less. And remember, I'm keeping money with money. And then he says he wants to buy at least 50 pounds. So however much perch plus however much salmon has to be greater than or equal to 50 pounds. I'm going to rearrange this. Okay, everybody should be all right with that, I hope. And then I'm going to label my axes, and I'm going to graph. So I'm going to go up to 80, and here I'm counting by tens. And then I can still go down 4/3. Okay, even though I counted by tens, it'll work its way out. All right. And then 50, down 1/1. And I'm going to shade in between. Okay, you could pick a test point and figure out where the shading overlaps. Alright, 10 pounds of perch and 50 pounds of salmon would be a good point. And 30 pounds of perch and 30 pounds of salmon would be a good point. Those two would both fall in that orange section there. Alright, number 3. The We Sell CDs website plans to purchase ads in a local newspaper to advertise their site. Their operating budget will allow them to spend at most $3,000 on this advertising adventure. An ad will cost $30 to appear in the weekday paper and $50 to appear in the weekend edition. They plan to run at least 20 ads. Okay, so they're going to spend at most $3,000. So they can spend less than or equal to $3,000. And it's $30 for a weekday and $50 for a weekend. So we're going to call weekday X and weekend Y. So I have 30X plus 50Y has to be less than or equal to 3,000. And then X plus Y, however many weekday ads plus weekend ads, has to be greater than or equal, because they say at least 20 ads. I'm going to rearrange these so that they're in slope-intercept form. Label my axes. And again, I'm counting by 10, so I'm going to go up to 60, down 3 over 5. And then I'm going to go up to 20 and down 1 over 1. I'm going to shade in between. And then write 2 possible solutions. I'm going to pick any 2 points in that overlapping section, in that red area. So 20 weekdays and 30 weekends would work. Remember, I'm counting by tens. And then 50 weekdays and 10 weekends would work. Number 4, Mary knits scarves and sweaters to sell. Scarves take 2 hours to knit, and sweaters take 10 hours. Mary would like to spend no more than 40 hours per week knitting and knit at least 5 items per week. Okay, so 2 hours plus 10 hours. So 2 hours for scarves, we'll call it scarves X, plus 10 hours for sweaters, we'll call sweaters Y. Has to be less than or equal to 40. She says she wants to spend no more than 40 hours. And then scarves plus sweaters has to be greater than or equal to 5, because she wants at least 5 items. I'm going to put those both in slope-intercept form. I'm going to label my axes. Okay, I'm going to go up to 4, down 1 over 5. Draw that line. I'm going to go up to 5, and I'm going to go down 1 over 1. So that section there is where I would have a solution. Now this one you might want to pick a test point, but it's usually wherever you have the bigger section of where they cross or where they are open, like in between. Alright, pick 2 points in the orange section there. So I could have 3 scarves and 3 sweaters, or I could have 10 scarves and 1 sweater. Alright, number 5. A clothing store has a going out of business sale. They are selling pants for $8.99 and shirts for $3.99. You can spend as much as $60 and want to buy at least 2 pairs of pants. Okay, so I'm just going to say $9 and $4 to make it a little easier. So $9 for shirts, we'll call those X, or pants, I'm sorry. And $4 for shirts, we'll call those Y. And we want to spend as much as 60. So we can spend less, but 60 is the most. So it can equal 60 or be less. And then we want to buy at least 2 pairs of pants. So X is our pants. X has to be greater than or equal to 2. I'm going to label my axes, rearrange these in slope-intercept form. Alright, so I'm going to go up to 15, and then I'm going to go down 9 over 4. So there's my first inequality. I could pick a test point and shade. And then my other one, I have X is greater than negative, or X is greater than 2. So I'm going to go over to 2 on the X-axis, and that's going to be a vertical line. Okay. And then the section where they overlap, this one I would definitely suggest pick a test point, but it says X is greater than 2. So it's going to be the numbers bigger than 2 on the X-axis. Okay. So I can pick 2 points inside that blue section. I could do 3 pairs of pants and 3 shirts, or 4 pairs of pants and 1 shirt, or something else. There's plenty of other combinations in there. Alright, number 6. You'd like to see how many baseball and soccer games you can attend this spring. Travel time for baseball games is 2 hours, and soccer games is 1 hour. You would like to spend no more than 15 hours traveling to the games. In total, you would like to attend at least 8 games. Write and graph a system of inequalities. Okay, so we have 2 hours for a baseball game, 1 hour for a soccer game. So 2x plus 1y, just y. And it says you'd like to spend no more than 15 hours traveling, so less than or equal to 15. And then it says you'd also like to attend at least 8 games. So x plus y, baseball plus soccer, we'd like it to be greater than or equal to 8. I'm going to rearrange those. Slope-intercept form. Label my axes. I'm going to go up to 15, down 2 over 1. go up to 8, down 1, over 1. That's the section where they'd overlap. There we go, label the axes. And then I'm going to answer some questions. It says, suppose we decide to attend 4 baseball games. What is the range of soccer games you can attend? So if I go over to 4 baseball games, 1, 2, 3, 4 is here. Then if you look at soccer games, it starts at 4 and goes to 7. All right, going up. Range is the Y's, remember? So for soccer, if I go over where it's 4, it touches for soccer at 4 and then goes up to 7. Okay. Oops. Then the next one, it says, suppose we decide to attend 9 soccer games. What is the range for baseball games that you can attend? So you're going to go to 9 soccer games. And for baseball, it starts at 0 and goes over to 3 when your Y is 9. And then it says, is it possible to attend 6 baseball games and 4 soccer games? Well, if you go over to 6 for baseball and up to 4 for soccer, that dot actually falls outside of my shaded section, so no, it is not possible.